What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to show it to you right now. This is the new album from the band Diocletian, entitled Amongst the Flames of a Burning God. This is released on Profound Lore Records. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of Auckland, New Zealand, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very brash, aggressive, war-torn hybrid of both black metal and death metal. Yeah. Diocletian are probably one of the most synonymous and well-known bands within the vast landscape of extreme metal to come out of New Zealand. This band has put forth a very, very notable and well-regarded discography, putting together brash imagery, hard lyrics, great musicianship, pure hate, emotion, and aggression into their music. Just an absolutely astonishing body of work this band has done out throughout the 2000s. From efforts such as their Decimator EP to their really, really awesome full-length work such as their debut from 2009 with Doom Cult, to 2010's War of All Against All, the split with Weregoat, Disciples of War, absolutely fantastic split if you haven't heard it. And the last time we had heard a full length from them back in 2014 with Gesandrian. That album still holds up very, very well. That album is still a great joy to listen to. And soon after that album had been released, we thought we had seen the last of Diocletian when in terms they were going to stop making music and just take a hiatus and disappear. Disappear, or so we thought, until a few years later, in which this band was reborn. Reborn in the sense that there is only one original member of this project left, that member being Atrociter. He put together a new band of hired heads to bring Diocletian back. And one of the more notable names to come out of this reboot of Diocletian is Impurath of Black Witchery. Of course, if you know Impurath, you know him for his stage presence, his vocal style, his just overall animalistic approach to doing vocals. When I found out he was in Diocletian, I was very shocked and surprised that they got him to be a vocalist for this project. And when the word got out that there was going to be a brand new full-length album from Diocletian in the works, I was very curious to see what type of approach they were going to go with, how they were going to sound this time around. And when they released one of the first singles off of this album, I believe it was Repel the Attack that got released, I listened to that song and I was just polarized. I was very polarized for the fact that this sounded nothing like anything Diocletian had ever done before. It had that Diocletian bite and edge to it, but it really felt as if I was listening to something out of a Jay Reed discography. I was listening to something that had either Conqueror or Revenge put into it. That really surprised me. I love the song, but I was blown away by the direction change that they took. And now here we are with the fourth full-length from Diocletian entitled Amongst the Flames of a Burning God. It's 8 tracks, and it clocks in at around 27 minutes in length, and boy is this album a breeze to get through. It is easily the shortest album of Diocletian's discography, but upon listening to this album over and over, you can tell that there is a big shift change in this band's sound. This band pretty much takes a full-on, hard-edged, war metal approach to their sound, and it shows here with Amongst the Flames of a Burning God. But I also appreciate this album for what it sets out to accomplish by doing something different and creating an album that is just purely menacing, purely evil, and just chaotic from first riff all the way to last. And speaking of riffs, that's something that keeps going with Diocletian as far as new material is concerned. There are a lot of great, crazy, psychotic riffs going on here, frenetic solos, awesome dive bomb parts, just all of it combined together to create something very wicked and entertaining. You hear it on songs like Nuclear Wolves, Degenerate Swarm, Berserker Rights, which is one of my favorite tracks off of this album, and then later on to the second half of this record with songs like Procreate Strength and Plundered by Hyenas. Just some really, really wicked riffs to be heard throughout this album. Of course, this is a very high energy, high quality sort of production going on here, so you get the best out of all these riffs and the way everything sounds and the way everything is played, and I think it's powerful sounding stuff. The bass work is good too. I definitely get hints and bits and pieces of it throughout this record, but this is really an album where the riffs are meant to shine here the most. This is a very guitar-driven, war metal themed sort of record, and you get those riffs done very well here. But the bass works out well, I think, too. When it comes to the drums, there is no relenting when it comes to the drumming style. It is just non-stop assault on the senses. A lot of blast beats, a lot of fills, a lot of crazy energy to be heard with this drummer, especially when it comes to the shorter songs that are on this record. Once again, going to stuff like Nuclear Wolves and Berserker Rights and Repel the Attack. Just this fast, unrelenting drumming style. Of course, you hear that kind of drum style throughout Diocletian's discography, but nothing to this sort of degree, which I think is fucking insane and gnarly. But I love what they go for here with this drum performance, and it's really cool. And when it comes to the vocals, like I mentioned, Impurath is doing vocals on this band now, and it's easily detectable to hear how Impurath sounds on this record, and he sounds just primal and animalistic all the way throughout. And I believe Atrociter does some vocals on this record too. You can hear his parts in bits and pieces, but overall, Impurath is the one spewing out the filth, spewing out the hatred, and he's doing a tremendous job with this record and bringing his own sort of unique style to the Diocletian band name here. So overall, I think this is probably going to be one of the most divisive records of 2019 for sure. You're either going to love this thing or you're either not going to be into it, but for what it is, I appreciate everything that's on this record in terms of musicianship, in terms of just being straight up over the top war metal. I don't think this is better than Gesundrian, and I certainly don't think this is better than Doom Cult or War of All Against All, but this is a completely rebooted sort of band. This is a new Diocletian. Whether you like it or not will be totally up to you, but for what it's worth, Amongst the Flames of a Burning God is quite a polarizing record in more ways than one, and I had a blast listening to it. It is a breeze to listen to. So if I had to think of any personal favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say Nuclear Wolves, Repel the Attack, Berserker Rights, Plundered by Hyenas is amazing, and the closing track, Restart Civilization, is pretty rowdy too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you some links in the description box as to how you can get a hold of this album and listen to it. I will leave you a link to the Profound Law Records Bandcamp page where you can listen to this album in its entirety, hear it for yourself, and be your own judge as to whether you think it's worthy of being purchased or not. You can stream it, buy it digitally, and it is available physically in a wide multitude of physical formats. All different album covers for all three of the physical formats: cassette tape, CD, and the version that I have right here, which is the vinyl version. There you see this very minimalist sort of album cover art here. Back cover here with track listing and credits. This came with a boatload of goodies as far as like physical presentation goes. Comes with this fold out poster, some crazy imagery of this artwork, Hail Self-Mastery, crazy words there. Got a one sheet with some more artwork, some Iron Fists, band member credits and photos. This gigantic booklet with more artwork, details, credits, very rowdy stuff. And the vinyl version came on multiple colors and formats, and the version that I got is the one that I believe is currently sold out right now, and that is this tricolor merge of red, black, and white. It is absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. And I should also mention, if you buy the vinyl version, look carefully for this groove right here, where my finger is pointing. There is a hidden groove. There's a bonus track. I believe the song is called Controlled Kill. I was reading the lyrics and the thank yous and whatever, and there's a track co-written by Ryan Forster of Blasphemy called Controlled Kill. Look out for that track because it's a fucking burner. But yeah. Again, the album is Amongst the Flames of a Burning God by Diocletian. This is released on Profound Lore Records. Definitely check this one out if you're into war metal or Diocletian or what have you. And for a score, I'm going to give this a very solid 8.5 out of 10. I definitely think this is going to get a lot of people talking, and if it's something that interests you, I definitely would recommend you give it a shot. If not, just move on to something else. So, if you happen to have heard this album, definitely let me know what you think about it, how you feel about it, and how you think it compares to previous Diocletian releases, or any of you guys into Diocletian. Definitely let me know. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel, and until the next time, Armijo out.